Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I can't remember when I last updated you on my favorite concealers, but I feel like this video is long overdue, and especially concealers that are great for dark circles. Lord knows a lot of us have issues with our dark circles, sleepy, tired eyes, or just, you know, it's been passed down from our mum or whoever. Yeah, it's just genetics sometimes. I basically want to show you concealers that I like to use that are buildable and that you don't necessarily need a corrector underneath it. I feel like a lot of people think that their dark circles are the darkest. Like literally everyone that I speak to is like, no, my dark circles are worse. No, my dark circles are worse. But sometimes if you just get the right concealer, you don't need to go in with loads of products. Sometimes I see someone going in with like a corrector, then the heaviest concealer, then another concealer on top of that, and then like a brightening thing. Like, chill sis, we can do it in less products. So yeah, that's what I want to show you. Less product, something buildable, and something that is going to cover up your dark circles and just make it hella easy, okay? Let's make this easy for you. First one is the Fenty Pro Filter Concealer. If you don't have this, I don't know why you don't have this, because this is amazing. I think this came out, what, last year? Last year, 2019. This concealer is so good. I love the consistency of it. I would say it's like, if there was a scale of medium to full coverage, it's like about here. This is full coverage over here. And this is where Fenty sits. It's like not too full coverage. The most full coverage concealer to me, in my opinion, is Kevyn Aucoin Essential Skin Enhancer. I love this baby right here. I don't even need to mention it in this video, but I'm talking about for dark circles, okay? This is not as full coverage as that. This is definitely, if you wanted to wear this like sheared out, you could, but if you wanted to cover your dark circles instantly, then you can totally do that with this concealer. You can also build this concealer up. I use the Fenty concealer in the shade 300, which actually matches the foundation shade. So they made a system where you have the same number in foundation and concealer. They've made the concealer slightly lighter, so it's right for your foundation, if that makes sense. I love the applicator of it. It's a really nice flat doe foot applicator, and then the concealer itself is actually nice and creamy. It's not too thick, but it's thick enough, slim thick, shall we say. It's a really great concealer, and also when it blends out, it just blends out seamlessly, really easily. This concealer does kind of have almost like a matte finish to it when it dries down. I wouldn't say this concealer is creaseless. I wouldn't say any of the concealers I've chosen are creaseless. I would always powder my concealers, especially if you're taking it right up here where your fine lines are going to be. Anything below that, then you're fine. Yeah. Great concealer. Let's move on. The next one is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer. I only really discovered it towards the end of last year, and it really quickly became one of my favorite concealers. Coverage on this is just insane. It is instant. When it blends out, this just makes your whole under eye area look smooth and flawless, like Fenty does, but this does it more. In my opinion, it just does it that extra bit more. It also is slightly more creamier. It's definitely a little bit more lightweight. Also, the applicator on this concealer, can you see it's got a slight bend to the end of the applicator? And when I first saw it, I was just a bit like, why are you trying to be so different? But actually, it's really nice. It's nice and soft, and it just fits so perfectly into this like hollow area of your eye, and you can get right into the corners because it's still nice and small, and you can use the tip of it. It's just really lovely. And then if I show you the consistency of this concealer, can you see? Coverage is insane. If I just show you, it's just super lightweight. Main thing is that it's got great coverage. I use the Stay Naked concealer in the shade 50NN, NN standing for neutral, and I feel like this concealer's got a slight peachy tone to it. It's not too cool, not too warm. It is neutral. It's somewhere in the middle, so it's great for correcting those dark circles, but also brightening that under eye area without looking orange whatsoever. Literally love this concealer, like love. Next up, I have another favorite, of course they're all favorites because they're in this video, but yeah, I really like this concealer also. It's the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This looks like a mini Born This Way foundation, super cute. It's slightly thicker, so imagine if you're traveling in your makeup bag, just for like a size comparison's sake, it is significantly larger. In the Fenty concealer, and I believe also in the Urban Decay one, you're getting around 8 mils of product, but in the Too Faced concealer you get 15 mils, which is a hell of a lot more, which you should, of course. It is larger. I use this in the shade Natural Beige. This concealer, as I'm showing you them, they're getting more lightweight and more creamier, but still coverage is very much there. The applicator on this, as you can see, is definitely larger, and as it should be when you've got such a large bottle. I don't actually mind the large applicator. It almost reminds me of Tarte Shape Tape, which is quite a large doe foot applicator, and again, it's really good for getting right into this whole area. You're able to cover a large surface area quickly. In terms of consistency, you can see like how much more creamier it is, and you get a lot of product off from this doe foot applicator. It's just super creamy, but of course the coverage is not compromised whatsoever. That's my main thing. As long as I have coverage and I'm able to cover up my dark circles instantly, then I don't care if it's creamy or lightweight, or I do care if it's too heavy actually. I want it to not feel like I've got too much makeup on, because if I have to go a whole day with wearing concealer, then I don't want to feel like this whole area is weighted down, especially since your under eye area is so sensitive anyway. The skin there is so much more delicate as well. You don't want to pile up too much stuff. Keep it light, but of course have it covered up. I love this, and I also really love the shade. I think, don't quote me, I think there's something like coconutty in this concealer, but it is something that is going to be hydrating. It's meant to hydrate your under eye area, which is great. That's also such a bonus. It not only feels lightweight, but it's doing good for your skin also, so you definitely want hydration under your eyes. Next up, I have the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. This is probably one of my newest favorite ones. Since they brought out new shades, I was able to find my actual shade and then fall in love with it. This concealer, I would say, has a matte finish. It's definitely a matte finish concealer. The applicator on this is, again, flat doe foot applicator, and I have this in the shade 3C. Again, coverage on this, oh, I don't know why my swatches are so bent. Coverage on this is just amazing. When I first swatch it, it's weird, like on my hand it looks really orange. This is probably, out of all the concealers, this one looks the most orange, and I could probably, if I wanted to, just use it as a color corrector. But when I blend it out under my eyes, over the top of my dark circles, that orange, peachy orange tone goes away, and of course it corrects the dark circles, also brightens it up. It's not so warm anymore. I love that it's super brightening, and actually this is probably one of the concealers out of all of these that have gone without setting with powder. Say if I'm going to the gym and I just quickly want to put something on and I want to whack it on under my dark circles, and obviously I don't need a lot of makeup for the gym, I just wear concealer, then this really does do the job. And the fact that it is a long wear concealer, ultra long wear, sorry, as it says on the bottle. Yeah, it's an ultra long wear concealer, so it stays put. It genuinely does not move, which again, I want my concealer to last. And then finally, I think I've mentioned this before in a concealer video, can't remember, but I have to mention it again because I love this concealer as well. It's the Kylie Jenner concealer, and I have this in the shade Maple. This is, again, super lightweight, super creamy. Again, the applicator on this is a nice flat doe foot applicator. This picks up so much product, and also because this concealer is so creamy, there's just always a lot on here. Let me show you. Again, coverage is amazing, super creamy. I love that it's towards the full coverage side without being like this thick Kevyn Aucoin style consistency. I love Kevyn Aucoin, but under the eyes, hun, it's it's too much. It's too much. The shade of this is beautiful. Again, it really reminds me of the shade of the Fenty concealer, the Urban Decay concealer. I would say that this is kind of like my perfect shade. It's not too light under my eyes where it makes me look stark white, because I don't like that. However, it's light enough that you can see it genuinely does brighten. And again, this is another concealer that when you blend it out, it just looks flawless, like absolutely flawless. I would say though, with the Kylie Jenner concealer, it's one of them ones where you kind of should let it sit on your face for like 30 seconds to a minute. Just let it settle, let it dry down a little bit, and like not too much, but then blend it out, because it is so creamy, it's so wet. It's a very wet concealer that if you start trying to blend it out instantly, you're just going to pick it up too much and move it around too much. So give it a moment to just settle in that area of your skin and then blend it. That's how I use it anyway. Those are my top 5 concealers that I absolutely love. Even the Born This Way concealer in the shade Chestnut, which is a deeper shade, I love to use to cream contour. In fact, if you ever find a concealer that you love and you like cream contouring, try finding that same concealer in a deeper shade to cream contour. Concealers for cream contouring just work a treat as well. They just look amazing on the skin. That's just another little tip for you. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. Let me know if you've tried any of these concealers, if they're your favorites or not, if you've got any favorites to share with me. And in fact, I am going to do a drugstore version of this video, so don't worry, it's coming. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Join the family, please. I'd really appreciate it. And get me on the gram as well at AnchalMUA. But for now, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Mwah. Bye.